Hi, and welcome to episode 6 of Content Marketing and today we're going to be going over Content Marketing and Groundhog Day. Did I pick this subject because I actually find it very relevant and I found a lot of learnings I can get from the movie, or is it just because I like the movie and I want to talk about it? I guess we'll find out as we go along. Again, describing content marketing is the only content marketing left, something I believe in wholeheartedly and can be applied to almost type of marketing situation, and in this case even to movies, lessons you can learn from it. So here we go, let's just dive right in. For those of you who don't know the plot of Groundhog Day, I'm not going to explain it. Please go watch the movie or look it up. I think most people have seen it at this point, but essentially if I can do a quick summary, it's about a news reporter called Phil Connors, who goes to report on Groundhog Day in Puxatawny, Pennsylvania, and ends up waking up every single day, and it's exactly the same thing. He relives Groundhog Day, day after day after day. It never actually says how long he's in that world for, but if you do a little bit of research and learn about it, apparently the director and the writer said somewhere around the 30 to 40 year mark he is stuck in the same day over and over and over again. And this is what I feel a lot of people are stuck in when it comes to their content creation, or even their content marketing, especially their digital marketing, is they just feel like they're stuck in the same place all the time. Nothing has changed. They feel like they can't change it because it would take too much effort, and even though what they're doing doesn't seem to matter, nobody seems to be paying attention to them as much, they don't change anything. Alright, so that's the plot of Groundhog Day for the first half of the movie. You have Bill Murray, who just essentially doesn't know what to do. He hates it. He doesn't like his life anymore. He's stuck in this awful day in this awful place with nothing exciting is going on, and as a result he feels like nothing he does matters. So let's go back a little bit away from Groundhog Day, and that is the purest form of insanity. This quote's been done numerous times by numerous people. I'm not sure if it really was Albert Einstein who said it originally, but he's a pretty smart man, so I'm just going to go with that. And so if you expect to really make ground on your competition or in your marketplace, why aren't you changing anything? Okay, if you see that your results are bad, if you see they're terrible, if people aren't reading your content, if they're not engaging with your content, and you expect, man, if I just keep doing the same things over and over and over again, nothing's going to change. I promise you. If you're not changing your strategy, if you're not changing the way you look at your audience, if you do nothing different, I promise you, nothing is going to change. But here's the one thing, your competition is going to do that. They are going to change. They are going to adapt. And as a result, you are going to be left behind. So this is what a lot of companies I've worked for, brands I work for now, they get stuck in a mentality of, I must blog 3 times a week. I must create an infographic 1 time a month. Oh, video, that's really important. I must do that every so often as well. And they get stuck in these schedules. And essentially what happens is you keep failing and failing and failing and failing over and over and over again. Just a quick aside here. In the movie, when Phil Connors gets to this point, he just starts committing suicide every single day. He can't handle it anymore. Keeps doing every single day he wakes up, does nothing different throughout the day, and as a result, nothing changes. So what does he do? He just keeps trying to commit suicide to end this cycle, but of course he keeps waking up back in his bed every single morning at 6 a.m. and nothing has changed. I'm taking a guess this is kind of how you feel with all the resources you put towards writing, graphic creation, everything like that on your site, and nothing is changing. You feel like, man, no matter what I do, I just keep failing. And I can tell you why, because you're not changing anything. Alright? Your environment might not change, but you can change the way that you interact with your environment, or in this case, you can change the way that you interact with your audience, which not only is going to make them happier, you're also going to attract new audiences. So a big turning point for Phil Connors is that he starts to realize, man, I'm stuck in this same day over and over and over again, and as a result, he is learning everything about every person in the town. And by about close towards the end of the movie, he knows every single move, every single personality trait about everybody in the town. And quickly he becomes the most popular person there. He starts giving the newscast that he gives every single day, at the Groundhog Day celebration. He turns it into this emotional piece that just touches the heartstrings of everybody there. And why? Because his audience, who lives in this town, Groundhog Day is the biggest thing in the world to them. So what does he do? He adapts and starts changing his messaging, changing the way he interacts with them, and as a result, he becomes the most popular person in the world. Well, the world in his case just being this small town. But at the beginning of the movie, he doesn't like the town. He thinks it sucks. He never changes anything with what he's doing, and as a result, he gets nowhere, and his life is not getting any better. But as soon as he starts changing the way he thinks about this and starts looking at everybody and changing the way he approaches things, he becomes very, very popular. This is exactly what you need to do with your content marketing. You need to learn your audience, okay? Especially if you're a bigger brand. You have a lot of data on them, all right? You can talk to your customer support. You can look at all your analytics. You can learn everything you can about them. And all you have to do now is tailor your message towards them to figure out what do they like and tailor that message towards them. Okay, start doing that. And you have all the research there. If you're a startup, it's a little more difficult. You have to work a little bit more on lead generation and finding out about the audience that you want to attract and start, bringing in people that way through content. But if you're a bigger brand, take advantage of this. You have all the, dedicate some time to learning them and crafting your messages around them. Don't think that they're going to come to your messages. You have to cater to what they want. What do they need? And just go back to the movie here. He also takes this time to learn, adapt, and create. He gets to the point where he learns the piano at like a incredibly high level and starts giving out concerts. He learns how to create an ice sculpture. He's got like 30, 40 years stuck in the same day, so he's learned all these new abilities to attract new people. And if you're living in the same environment, if you're a brand that's been around for a long time, you know a lot about that audience. You can start to try out new things that you think people are going to like as well. And that's just a very powerful thing you have to be able to do. And since you have that audience, if you have a big subscriber base, if you have all that, you can take advantage of that and do this. Now keep in mind, when you first change, that first piece of content you create, it's going to take a lot of time to create that. This isn't a usual thing where you just do a tiny little bit of research on Google, like, oh, what can I write about? And you write like a 500-word blog on that topic, okay? That's not going to cut it anymore, all right? You have to really take your time. So that research is going to take a very long time, coming up with a good list of topics that you want to start writing about and putting a unique spin on them. It's going to hurt at first, all right, because you might not be putting out any content in the meantime. But creating unique, valuable content is way more valuable than creating a lot of content, okay? As Robert Rose says, create the minimum amount of content with a maximum amount of impact. So that's what you have to do. So know that at first it's gonna sting a little bit because you might have been doing the same thing for a long time, but know that this will pay off in the long run. So just to kind of summarize this, you have two choices, all right? And Bill Murray and Groundhog Day had the same two choices. It wasn't content marketing, but you can adapt to a content marketing way of thinking within your company, or you're just going to be stuck in the same cycle, doing the same thing, and getting the same results, okay? So I highly recommend that you take note of this, start really seeing what you want to do, look historically. If nothing has changed, in the past months or the years, and you're creating the same type of content at the same pace, and nothing's working, take a step back, understand that you have to learn your audience, take an audience-focused approach, and I assure you, with enough time, you will succeed. All right, so I appreciate you listening to my half content marketing speech, half understanding my love of the movie Groundhog Day. Thank you, and I will talk to you again next week.